finish things off with a literal bang. We're gonna finish off with a literal bang. Because we are going to watch Grand Thumb. We're gonna what? Nope, no Scott. Scott hasn't not Scott today. But we are gonna watch Grand Thumb. Testing the military's new 277 Fury round. So this I'm actually unfamiliar with the 277 round. So I'm actually very curious about this. I am. So, and great, we've watched a couple of Grand Thumb. They put out some good stuff. I seem to recall I think the tank one was theirs, which that was fucking awesome. So let's check this out.
Oh, it's going in. No, that's the start of the video.
Are you here to experience modern violence, the likes of which humans have never been able to conceive of? Well, you're in the right place. Today, we are taking a look at the Army's brand new rifle. This is the XM7, which is now the...
And El Torsi, thank you for the follow. Okay, you have a good sleep, and thanks for coming by.
M7, and it is firing the 277 Fury round. And
wow.
For the first time
Holy
here
shit.
in Grand Thumb, we're going to be
Wait,
testing
what was the name of that rifle?
the Army's brand new rifle. This is the XM7, which is now the
XM7.
and it is firing
M7.
the 277 Fury round.
That's a big bullet. XM7, but for the military model, I think is going he says me categorized as the M7 for military designation. But okay, am I crazy or is this because that's a 5.56? This is the 277. Am I crazy or does this look like it's a 308? Am I crazy or does this look like it's the size of a 308? Okay, I'm not crazy. That is good to know. Yeah, I thought that was the first thing that popped in my head. Is like, this looks like it's the size of a 308. And it is a 277, so it's damn close. Okay. This should be good. That rifle already looks fucking awesome. That rifle itself looks fucking awesome.
And for the first
and that's
time
a big
here in Grand
cavitation.
Thumb, we're going to be testing this round to its fullest capability. Now, we don't have the Army's projectile, but we have one of the possible projectiles that could be used. And let me explain that. There is an EPM type round, which Micah will pop up a little photo of right here. And then there are a variety of different rounds.
No photo.
Used within the United States military, from 77 grain to TSX. This is a solid copper TSX round, which is commonly used within combat. We are going to be testing its performance in jail. We're going to be testing its performance on human body analogs. We're going to be testing accuracy performance with Micah, because you're a better shooter than me, Micah. And then finally...
And then we're going to be testing it on Charlie.
On Charlie.
Hey, yeah.
And
Let's
long
get
range.
dead.
And finally...
Okay, Delos, have a good night. Sleep well.
we'll be testing against armor. Before we get started, I do want to congratulate Charles on getting through that clot. It was really hard. We, of course, have to thank our sponsors. This content is free. Let's get into it right here.
Okay, so this is a message for YouTube. You're probably going to have noticed, for anybody watching this on YouTube, you're probably going to notice there was a significant jump there because I had to cut something out. Due to YouTube's new rules that are coming out when it comes to firearm videos, YouTube is no longer allowing for any promotion of any firearm accessories or firearm institutes or anything like that. So unfortunately, I had to cut all of Grand Thumb's sponsors out of my YouTube video because I would rather not have my video or my channel deleted by YouTube. Normally, I will let them fully play out because I fully believe if a channel is a sponsor and I'm reacting to it, I am going to let that play out because that's, it's their sponsor. I try and do right by the channel creator. But because I don't want to lose the video or my channel, and with YouTube's new rules, I unfortunately had to cut all of Grant Bum's sponsors on this video because YouTube now says none of that is available in any video related to firearms. So if you're wondering why there was a cut in the, like a jump cut, a weird jump cut in the video, that is why. I hate doing it, but I don't want my channel to go away. So, on with the video.
Here we have the 277 Fury. This is the new round of the United States military. As you can see here, we have a 113 grain solid projectile that's made out of copper, and we have a bimetal case. What that does is it allows you to have a much higher pressure within the case that it can withstand before bursting as compared to just a brass case. So,
Interesting. So it's not just the size of the round, it's the case. The casing is, okay. I'm impressed already.
first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and chrono this, see how fast this 113 grain projectile is going. Guesses?
2,400.
Micah?
How many grain?
113.
113 grain, 2,800.
2,800? I'm going to say 29.
I'm gonna up it. I'm gonna say it's gonna go 32. I'm gonna up the number. I'm gonna say it's gonna go 3,200. I'm probably shooting for the moon here, but let's see.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I was a little over, but not by much. I was a bit over, but not by much.
Dude, okay, hold on. Quick note here. So this Garmin chrono is incredibly accurate. And do you see what that standard deviation is? Now, we only fired 3 rounds with a standard deviation of 2.7. Is pretty insane. That
So the real question is, like, at what distance, how many yards does that round turn to God and no longer is trans?
I can't with you. He means transonic. I couldn't give you that exact definition. We don't have the BC on this round. Again, it is brand new. But apparently, according to the military tenders, a lot of these rounds are going to be traveling about 3,000 to 3,100 feet per second. So this is the speed that we do want to be seeing out of this projectile. And let's shoot into gel. Let's see what it does.
Yeah, let's do it.
This is gonna be
ballistics
good.
gel right here. This is clear ballistics gel. It's not going to be a 1-to-1 of human flesh. It's simply going to give us a medium to test the round to see what performance and expansion are going to look like.
Okay.
Right here we have the 113 grain round traveling almost 3,100 feet per second, hitting gel.
Well. Holy shit. Show it again, or I'm showing it again.
That was one of the
I'm showing it again. I'm showing that again. And I'm gonna reduce the speed. That deserves a super slow-mo. Fuck me. Look at that cavitation. Think about this happening inside the human body. Holy shit. I don't think we have yet seen a rifle round this powerful. Hi, Candyman. Like, even at the entry, look at the cavitation on the entry points. Like, outside of, like, a 7.62 or bigger, you know, like the 500 Nitro Express, outside of, like, those kind of rounds, I can't recall us having seen this explosive of a cavitation. That alone is fucking impressive. Holy shit.
That was one of the single most violent, like military type calibers I've ever seen fired through a piece of gel. As you can see here, we have a solid about 10 inches of penetration before the round began to flower, fragment, and open up. And we have that explosive compression there as well. This was a wildly violent, wildly effective round. And this was simply the copper projectile, the TSX. We're not even testing the EPM projectile. But I don't know what we expected. 113 grains traveling 3,100 feet per second is an insane amount of energy to be putting forth into gel or in a body or anything. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put 2 blocks back to back since we didn't quite catch all the expansion and see what we get, and then we'll put armor in front of it. All right, 277 Fury through 2 gel blocks. Ready, Charles?
Yep.
Woo, jeez.
Oh, okay. I want to see that in super slow-mo. Hang on. Holy shit. I mean, look at that. The cavitation here on block 2 is almost the entire fucking block. So Shadow, you're wondering why this large cavitation is further away than it was last time. So I believe the explanation for that is because you have these 2 blocks back to back, there is no air pressure on the initial strike. You don't have any air pressure here getting into this portion. You don't have any air pressure getting into this block. Whereas here, you have the exit wound, which is allowing for that air pressure release. That's why you're getting the cavitation of this nature in block 2, and you're only seeing very impressive cavitation here in block 1. Yeah, and Jameson, I do believe you're right. I do think the trajectory did alter a bit more in the first in the first shot, the single block, but the reason for the cavitation in the second block is because of air pressure. Exit air pressure, the exit wound air pressure, because these things are so tightly against, you're not getting any air going through here. That's why you're seeing it in this block, but not on this one. Oh, absolutely, Potato. I think it will. Absolutely, it will.
Okay, apparently.
It almost looked like that first one just didn't move.
I don't know what happened.
Oh yeah, there it is on that one too. Kind of see it.
So what we're seeing good performance through barriers. I'm really interested to see what it's going to do through armor. I think armor's up next. Do you think it's going to go through armor?
I'm excited. I think it's going straight.
We actually have the not stolen Lockheed Martin armor. That's like issued.
Where'd you get it?
Timu. Okay, right here we have the government's finest armor. This is made by none other than the military industrial complex. This is level 4. Always wear your side plates. And how many rounds do you think it will take to get through it?
1.
In Call of Duty terms, that would be like you crack the armor immediately.
Yeah. Yep.
Shit, I didn't pause it fast enough. All right, back up. Chat, think it's gonna go through in one shot? I think it might. I think this, from what we're seeing, I think this might go through in one shot. I do.
1.
In Call of Duty terms, that would be like you crack the armor immediately.
Yeah. Yep.
Shit, can't tell. Oh, it didn't. I don't think it did.
Stopped it. Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, it did stop it.
Wow.
So, we have a solid copper projectile, which is not made to penetrate armor. And as we can see, the level 4 definitely stopped it. Level 4 is rated up to, that smells weird, it's probably cancer. Level 4 is rated to 30.6 armor piercing. Armor piercing is a specific type of projectile in order to get through. That being said, it's been hit once. What do you think a second round's going to do to it?
Go through.
Think so?
I think with the okay, all right, I will do poll for second round. I suspect. Okay, hang on. Okay, you're gonna get 3 choices. Ready? 1 minute poll starting now. I'm seeing a lot of people voting kind of what the way I'm thinking also. All right. So yeah, most people are thinking it depends on the strike point. I am also of that opinion. If he hits it instead of hitting in the upper left, like he did this last time, he hits in the lower right, I think it may stop it. So let's find out.
Yeah, I said that.
Find out. I think it stopped it, dude. I think the armor's done, but I think it caught it. Yeah, it caught it. You're gonna need a projectile that's armor piercing to get through. As we can see, the round.
And so who had the absolutely? Who had absolutely? Because he hit it pretty close to where it hit before. So whoever voted for absolutely, gold star. Gold star. Good call. And yeah, it would hurt so fucking bad.
Itself isn't just going to do it by itself.
Congratulations,
you need a projectile with some type of steel penetrator or something to get through. But now that we've seen some of this performance, let's see what it does on the human body analog. We actually don't allow Charles near the dummies anymore. There was an incident. We have a ballistic dummy right here. This is a good approximation of a human. We have organs, we have bone, and we have fluid in there. So if you want to come over here to this side, Micah, you can see all the different stuff.
This is going to be, I think, pretty devastating. This is like one round. I have a feeling this is going to be a devastating hit.
That the rounds are going to travel through. This gives us pretty good indication of performance. Now, this is not a one-to-one because it's gel. That being said, it does a good job of approximating tissue, fat, muscle, all that kind of stuff. Start with a side plate shot right here. We're going to see what it does to the ribs. This is a level 4 issued body armor from Temu, and it's really not its actual armor. And we'll see how it does, and then we'll start going through the body and seeing how the 277 round performs.
Wake up in the morning. What's up? What's up, honey? Bam! Break those fucking ribs, dude.
You can't joke about domestic violence.
Well, and here's the thing. If it breaks ribs, those ribs can penetrate. If you have a broken piece of rib or even like a shard of, if your ribs break, that broken rib can cause internal damage all on its own. So even if you have armor, even if you're armored and you get hit by a round that causes a rib fracture, if the fracture is severe enough, you're still in deep shit, because that fractured rib could start penetrating some pretty vital areas, which is just as dangerous as bullet.
Violence, bro.
I could have been talking to anyone, dude. Could have been talking about my mom.
Lung or liver. Okay, that looks like it's a lot better than I thought it would be.
Well, it did break his ribs.
Did it?
Yeah, look at that rib. It's straight out. It completely shattered it.
LeBron.
Oh, yeah, right there. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that can penetrate. I'm trying to remember my anatomy. I'm trying to remember if the liver is here, or if that is perhaps the intestines. Like, it actually broke the rib, and if that actually punctures, it can cause internal bleeding. And that's just as dangerous. And if you're in a combat situation and you have internal bleeding, you're in serious fucking trouble.
And it fractured this one, fractured that one, and fractured that lower one as well. But that one is completely out of place. It could have punctured a lung, dude. You could be...
That might be a little too high for a lung. Too low. I think that fractured rib, I think, is a bit too low to puncture a lung. You'd probably be looking at one of these guys up here for a punctured lung concern. But this one, it could, you're looking at puncturing, like, probably your large intestine, or causing various other internal bleeding, like I was saying.
I mean, you could be dealing with a punctured lung.
I mean, from a further distance, he gonna be aight.
Oh yeah. That's gonna catch the round for sure if he's getting shot at with TSX rounds.
Yeah.
What'd John say about this? He's like,
yeah, I mean, you could either intestine or maybe puncture the bowel, although I don't think so. I don't think that's quite in the right position to puncture a bowel, but at the very least, it could puncture an intestine.
like it's chasing the dragon. He's like, I fire 6-round burst, 5 hits you in your leg and 1 hits you in your plate. It doesn't matter. Next up, we're going to recreate a Marine coming upon a PLA member somewhere in the Pacific in 6 years.
Well, your dog, it depends on the soldier. It depends on the shooter. The shooter may choose to fight because it's, military weapons, it's not, burst fire, full auto, or go home. They can choose to fire in single shot. And a soldier may not necessarily, depending on the situation, may not want to have burst fire as their go-to. They may want to have semi-automatic fire. If they need to have, more pinpoint, shot placement, or they don't, the situation could be very dependent on whether or not they want to have that, rapid round delivery downrange. So it is very situational dependent on that. Holy shit. Whoa. Holy shit.
My favorite thing is when it just evacuates the head, right? The head.
Like, that literally blew the entire top of the skull off. Holy shit. That's a bad day. This dummy just had a very bad day.
The head just leaves.
Brain.
We're continuing our island hopping campaign, and we're going to be going ahead and putting a round through the chest. This is the most common place to shoot somebody. That's what all
get
US
out of the
military
way.
trained to. So, upper chest with the 277 Fury.
Shit. Okay, I hope he shows the front. That was a little bit less accurate. That was a little more anticlimactic than I was expecting. But that's definitely a hell of an exit wound. I'd like to actually see the entry wound on that too.
That went straight through and blew a chunk out of him. It came through, shattered all the ribs, and then we had a huge
Did it?
chunk taken out. Went through the scapula, the heart, the lungs, everything.
Show me.
Next up, we're going to be turning.
Ah, damn it. They didn't show us. I wanted to actually see I wanted to get an actual view of the front of the dummy to see that.
Into Superman after he finished doing his Superman career. We had to travel through. Whoa.
Perfect spine shot.
Jeez, and it
that.
completely removed the spine.
Oh my god! Look at that. What is that? That's the like the L3 to the L5 is fucking gone. Or is that no no. Oh, actually that might be the L5 through. Shit, I'm forgetting my anatomy. Basically, that's lower lumbar and upper. Actually, no, that might not be lumbar. I think that's L3 through L5. That's fucking gone. Holy shit. And I don't even want to think about what it did to the front. This round is fucking scary.
It's wonderful performance.
So, we have the SIG, I don't even know, XM7, there it is. We got the SIG XM7.
Makes it easy.
And apparently this is 11 SD ammo. We're going to be grouping it at 100. I think I'm going to go on top. You're going to go on bottom?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, that's. I don't like.
Wait. Definitely not as good as the first one, but.
Nah.
Do you see him? You see him try to reach for a chart for a bolt action there when he finished. Watch his hand. He like reaches for a bolt action, not a habit, I think.
Definitely not as
sorry.
good as the first.
I'm sorry. He was flipping it to safe. Okay, my mistake. He was flipping it to safe. But I thought he was just like out of habit reaching for like a bolt action handle.
First one, but.
Nah. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Oh yeah, not bad. Okay,
It's not a bad group.
let's go check it out. Okay, so, dude, I feel like I want to have you print one more time.
Well, yeah, so what we didn't show was while we were zeroing, we were very surprised because we were talking to St. John over there, and St. John's like, it's a 2.5 MOA gun. And then I did my first group, and it was 1 MOA. Like, it was...
It was tight.
It was like that. Then I group again, we're here, Mike groups, we're here.
This group is 2.5.
About 2.5, yeah.
Yeah, so that's indicative of what you see from the gun. This was nice. That felt good though. I would call that a part of the accuracy of the gun.
Yeah.
Let's have you print one more time.
Let's send one more.
I'm gonna have you I'm gonna have it low though to make life a little bit easier.
For sure.
Nice, good group, dude. Micah's group looked pretty good. Okay, so we did this group right here with Micah. That was a 1.8 MOA. That was awesome. That was really good. That's below the program requirements. Funny enough, the M4 carbine is only required to do like 3 MOA.
Yeah, and am I crazy for saying I heard reports of this thing being like a 4 MOA gun?
I've heard that before. I'm not sure if that's because.
And yeah, Seamus, you're right. Like when you get actual military grade ammo into this thing, holy shit. This thing will be a beast.
The barrels on these are only about 10K as far as how long they last, so I wonder if they're getting shot out. There's a problem with the URGIs as well with the M855A1.
That's sub 2. I say your group was right there as well, about 2.
You can't tell, but mine was right at 2.
And then that's probably over 3. That's over 3. So
overall, this is performing pretty well. I think the best way to tell is begin to shoot far.
Well, Seamus, they were just saying, if I was understanding correctly, the barrels on these are designed to basically take 10,000 rounds before being replaced, if I'm understanding him correctly. Because I think that said the barrel was designed for 10K. So that's interesting. Now off the top of my head, I don't know what the barrel of the M4 is designed to take before needing replacing. I'm not sure if it's higher or lower. And Shadowclaw, you wouldn't be able to fire a hollow point through it. These rifles are not designed to take flat nose type ammunition, so you wouldn't be able to put a hollow point into it. You think it'd be about the same BBQs? Okay. Yeah, off the top of my head, I cannot recall what the count is.
So let's
Yeah.
take it out and let's start shooting out to about 700 and see what we get. You say 1 mil?
I'd
1
say
mil?
Start with 1 mil.
Okay.
Just, yep, impact.
Nice.
Just a little on the lower side.
I'm gonna go
Probably
one.
like 1, 2, 1, 3.
Yeah.
Do they, Mia? Okay.
Impact.
Okay. I'm gonna go out to 600. Yep. Low right.
Impact. High left.
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Impact.
That was actually super easy. Like you said, there's very little drop.
So that first one's at what? 600?
Yeah, so yeah, Garand, that's a bolt action is slightly different. Maybe they do. I'm unfamiliar with hollow points in rifles like the M4 or the XM7 here. Yeah, okay, so like I'm unfamiliar like when it comes to like military type rifles, I'm unfamiliar with hollow points for them. Hollow points obviously I'm very familiar with in terms of handgun rounds, but not rifle rounds. That is a new one for me. 7,500 rounds. Okay, so the XM7 can take more rounds through it before needing a barrel change. Okay, so it's an improvement in that respect too. Nice.
550. So the second
first
orange,
orange?
550.
And you only held 1 mil?
I held 1. That's not a whole lot of drop.
That's pretty good.
So what's nice is with such a fast round with a good BC, which means the BC is referring to its ability to carry through the air, you have very little drop. So what that means is your trajectory is flatter. That means impacting enemies at longer distances is much easier compared to 5.56. If we were shooting 600 to 5.56.
Oh, you'd be at like 5 or 6 mils.
So this makes life a lot easier. All right.
And what they're talking about here, where they were only going 1 mil for compensating bullet drop. For anybody that's not understanding what they're referring to with this terminology is within the scope. You see in sighting scopes where you have effectively are like tick marks on your crosshairs in a scope. Those tick marks are called mils, and you can use those to account for bullet drop depending upon different ranges. So what he was doing is he was probably aiming slightly high on his target by the first tick mark down. That was the 1 mil he was talking about. I'm guessing he was using the 1 mil down to account for bullet draw. Whereas if you had like an M4 that's chambered in 5.56, he would have had to have gone 4 mils down to account for bullet drop of the same distance. So that's really impressive, but honestly not surprising given the higher power of the 277 round. You have a higher power round that has some really damn I thought I'd heard them say 700 meters. I think. Let's see, where are we at? We're at 1357. Let me see if I can find out.
Here as well, about
yeah,
2.
we can't tell, but we're performing pretty well. I think 700 and see what we get. To tell is begin to shoot far. So let's take it out and let's start shooting out to about 700 and see what we get.
700. So yeah, they were shooting at like 700. They were shooting at 700 meters. So yeah, I mean, only needing to adjust 1 mil at 700 meters is really fucking impressive. That's gonna make but honestly not surprising, given the additional power this round is generating. With the 277 versus the 5.56, it's honestly not that surprising, but it is still very impressive, and is opening up a lot of options for soldiers that are going to be shooting at longer ranges. So it's really nice.
That was actually super easy. Like you said, there's very little drop.
So that first one's at what? 600?
550. So the second
first
orange, 550.
And you only held 1 mil?
I held 1. That's not a whole lot.
Okay, so it's at I think you were saying it was at 550 meters. So that's what it sounded like you were saying. He said it was you held at 550, or you was at 550. So I think it was 550 meters if they were shooting, not 700.
Drop.
That's pretty good.
So what's nice is with such a fast round with a good BC, which means
Yeah, no, Shammy said I think that's what he was saying. He was shooting at 550 meters for when he was shooting. He may. No, did I mishear?
there's very little drop. This
So that first one's at what? 600?
550. So the second
first
orange, 550.
And you only held 1
Yeah,
mil?
550. 550. He was shooting at 550. Okay. Sorry, yeah. So he's shooting at 550. He will probably shoot at 700 because they said he's a better shot. So yeah, okay. But even at 550, that's still very impressive. 550 with only 1 mil of compensation is still really really impressive.
I held 1. That's not a whole lot of drop.
That's pretty good.
So what's nice is with such a fast round with a good BC, which means the BC is referring to its ability to carry through the air, you have very little drop. So what that means is your trajectory is flatter. That means impacting enemies at longer distances is much easier compared to 5.56. If we were shooting 600 to 5.56.
Oh, you'd be at like 5 or 6 mils.
So this makes life a lot easier. All right. Impact.
Too easy.
Yeah. Impact.
500's too easy.
So this round has been adopted by the United States military for close combat forces, so that being the men who are going to be going into battle most. Think about the 82nd Airborne and others. I think that there's a lot of probably development when it comes to the projectile that's going to be used by the U.S. government, whether they use an EPM.
Well, your dog, here's the thing. It's sharpshooters or snipers probably won't be using this weapon. They'll be using actual sniper rifles, the M24, I believe it is. Unless they've upgraded. The last time I knew about the sniper rifles, they were M24s, then they've upgraded. So, and those shoot 7.62 rounds. So this is not a sniper weapon or a sniper caliber. They kind of take it up a notch with snipers.
Projectile, or whether they use something like this, because it seemed to perform incredibly well. Clearly the gun is accurate at distance, much easier to shoot at distance than the current issued rifle, which makes sense. It is a much larger caliber. The recoil is fairly manageable. Jesus Christ. Would you put the gas at on this? Unless you're in the adverse setting.
Oh, yeah, it does.
That's pretty impressive recoil for that. Damn. But I mean, the interesting is, I'm not aware of many soldiers who will run full auto, even if they have the option. Yeah, for battle rifle, yeah, but it's most soldiers that I've ever spoken with will not go, even if they have the option, will not go full auto. They will go either semi-auto or they will go burst, because realistically, realistically, it's more effective and more efficient than going full auto. Even, you know what, full auto, it's good for suppression, but in a battle rifle, it's in a battle rifle, it doesn't make as much sense, because if you go full auto and go for suppression in a battle rifle, you're going to burn through your magazine too fast. You're going to want to have your heavy gunner that's on the 249 or the 60 going full auto suppression while you do your adjustments, and you're going to conserve your ammo in your battle rifle and keep it to burst. So yeah. And with a 3-round burst, you will maintain more control. The recoil will be even more manageable. Like, the recoil on this is impressive in how well you're able to control it. But with 3-round burst, even if you are doing trigger pull, trigger pull, trigger pull, trigger pull with a 3-round burst, you're still going to be able to maintain control better than if you were in full on.
Easy.
Unless you're in the adverse setting, and I do like the fact that you do have a suppressor. So some issues I did run into firing this thing long range was that you definitely do, and this is a problem with all suppressors, but due to the amount of heat being put out by the round, you do get that suppressor mirage pretty quickly when you're shooting far through an LPVO or something. Have you noticed that as well, Micah?
Yeah.
So that's always going to be a problem. You're always going to be dealing with heat. There's just no way around it, especially with a round this powerful coming out of this short of a barrel. But I think the technology is really interesting, and I think we have a pretty good rifle here for the fight against China and the islands.
Yeah, I think it's the good thing about this rifle is it's a little heavier, right? So you get a dude from Iowa jumping into, I don't know, insert random country name with oil, and it's gonna work out well.
Where like his bench press is the total bench press of the entire PLA squad.
Exactly, he's just lifting their invasion boats up.
Yeah.
But let's say this is picked up by one of those small communists that really just, I mean, like I said before, aren't people. They're gonna have a hard time using it. So it's
God.
There's more factors than just accuracy at play here.
Yeah, you know, you get that room temperature IQ Marine coming in with this thing to kill. It's kind of what we want.
Yeah, well, a room temperature IQ Marine is still leaps and bounds ahead of a culture that eats dogs.
And bats.
Yep, and bats.
There you have it. Point is, the 277 is an incredible round. Can't wait to see more of it. I'm sure we'll be performing some more experiments with these rounds in the very near future. And Micah, what are your thoughts, man?
So I've been watching some, drama and this thing unfold and all that, and I saw the training photo of the guy putting it on the barricade and this and that, and then I've also heard reports of it being 4 MOA. We averaged about 2 with all of it. 2 MOA is pretty stellar for a combat rifle, especially this short, and hitting out to 600-700 yards and only holding 2 mils was kind of crazy. So it made it very easy. I like it. The recoil's stout, but the round is good.
And that's going to be it for today, guys. So thank you for tuning in. Tons more great content coming to you, and as always, stay looking cool. Yeah, final thing for you guys, dad advice with Colton, ranch hand, who might make a good father. Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Probably not. Don't got no dad advice for you.
What do you
Not
make a
dad.
good father? Look at that hat.
No.
Yeah, we're getting him there. Like, he's got the G9 shirt on. No, if you're anything like...
Shit! What happened? What? No! What I was trying to say, before it jumped on me like that, is, I will say, this is a large rifle. This is, I mean, you look at it holding it in comparison from this angle, this is a large rifle. It is definitely larger than the M4. And so I understand what they're saying, like, it is a heavier weapon. Granted, it does have the suppressor on it, so that's kind of adding some extra, like, not necessarily weight, but it makes it look even bigger. And so, I mean, if this was to replace the M4, well, no, yeah, this is a short barrel, but he's got a suppressor snapped onto it. This, he does have this, and that adds to looking like a larger weapon. Is it shorter than? Yeah, but I didn't say M16. I said M4. Not M16. Yes, it is shorter than an M16, but I was comparing it to the M4. Not the M16. Because it looks like, especially in this area, it looks like it might be a bit thicker than the M4. But, I mean, this thing is a gorgeous rifle. Exactly, Yari. It's thick. It's not long, it's thick. But it's a gorgeous rifle. It is absolutely a gorgeous rifle. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have some serious editing to do with this one to try and get it on YouTube. That cut out that whole section. First section of it. Yeah, 6 Hour does make a very, they make a very pretty looking gun. They do.